Doc Loves the Kids, a local Kitsap County nonprofit organization established in 2015, whose mission is to provide activities, programs, and community support for at-risk youth.
They put the U in community.
Doc Loves the Kids.
Welcome to Uncommon Courtesy,
where we give you the courtesy of conversation
that's uncommonly spoke of.
I'm D-Mac.
I'm Wesley.
And this is the show. Hey, thanks everybody for views us. Don't forget to like, comment, and share every time you see us posting up. We're trying to help you out while you help us out. Don't forget every Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific time, the Friday Fix. Don't forget every Sunday, 1 p.m. Pacific time, the Town Hall.
Yet to be named, but we're going to come up with one for y'all real soon. We're working on it.
So let's get into it, man. I want to start off with Trump says ICE can arrest people at churches and schools, directs agency to use common sense. Federal immigration authorities will be permitted to arrest people and carry out enforcement actions in and near places such as churches and schools, marking a departure from a long-standing policy to avoid so-called sensitive areas. Acting Homeland Security Secretary Benjamin Huffman announced the end of 2 directives in a statement, giving agents more authorities over whether they can carry out enforcement and eliminating a legal pathway for migrants seeking to come to the United States. I mean, yeah, they're going to go balls to the wall.
Yeah, they already put out some stuff about talking about going into Chicago. And you mentioned like every city that they're talking about going to. Say there's 14 cities. All of them are cities that are mostly in blue states. I mean, and I think Phoenix is the only one that was kind of a purplish kind of a state. I feel like he's trying to start like I won't even call it. I know they use everything as culture war. This is almost like a dividing war between America. Why are you not going out if you want to find immigrants and people like that and migrants? Why don't you go out to the to rural areas? Because a lot of them are working out there.
These are the major sanctuary cities. They've been dubbed. That's why the migrants are going there. You know, and it's crazy because Texas and Florida, for some reason, flew the migrants to most of these places.
Oh yeah, and on top of that, though, what I'm saying is like, but they don't find jobs in a lot of these places. It's hard to find work in a lot of those kind of places.
How New York looked, bro, they couldn't find a place, so they're taking over the streets.
Yeah,
they were in there. You know what I'm saying, like selling stuff.
I understand that, but for years we've been having migrants coming in. This isn't just a new thing. That's just even when we had sanctuary cities. So these people it's easier for them to go find work in rural areas. There just is. Because those people need people to help with their crops and whatever else. Go out there. You haven't talked about going out there at all. Why is that? Why are you only talking about invading Chicago, New York City, Boston, places like this that you know are heavily like blue strongholds? It's because you want to divide and conquer, because you want to show your force to these people, to these cities first, because they're against you. This has been shown. I mean, everything you do is kind of like is to divide America. Yeah, period. And
I mean, honestly, there's sanctuary cities, and that's where, you know, that's an influx of migrants anyways. They know that because they sent a lot of them there. You know, Chicago, they're having an issue with the Venezuelans. New York, they're having issues with people coming from further south than Venezuela. Remember, you had the one guy online. He was like, hey, you can come here and get free money, free housing. You should do this. They should free the guy that stabbed the police. You know what I'm saying? He's on a revenge tour. Everything he said he was going to do, no matter how hateful and evil it was, he about to do it. That's what the people voted him to do. It's sad to see, but he didn't declare a state of emergency. So I guess we're not going to martial law. So I can say at the moment.
He declared a state of emergency at the border, though. He's talking about shutting down the borders. He doesn't want anybody crossing. He did declare a state of emergency at the border. Let's see where he goes with it next. I mean, he's talking about a paramilitary. I don't know if that's a different segment or not, but forming a paramilitary division at the White House so he can utilize them. What were you saying about that?
Yeah, so it's basically he's making his. I mean, that's why the January 6th people were released and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? He's forming his own army to actually just go against the other half of America.
And he's showing you that he'll pardon you if you do anything wrong. If it's federal, you know what I mean? Hopefully, because he knows that most of the places he's going to send you to, if the states do anything about it, which I think those places would, if there's something that egregious that happens. But right now, everyone seems to be, you know what? We're going to go ahead and ride along with Trump because we don't know how far his power goes. No one knows until he starts using the Supreme Court, till you take it up to the Supreme Court and they show you that they're willing to go ahead and side with him on anything. But this is crazy. I mean, they're all like, they've already looked at it like, so the article read basically that they're about to start going in and removing immigrants from different cities. Correct?
Well, I mean, it's like they were just saying those are safe spaces. They were actually going to do it on day one, but someone snitched and gave up the information to Chicago because they wanted to do a raid while he was, in the inauguration. Like, look, we already started, but they gave up word, so they're supposed to do it today. So they're starting them now. They're making the raids. They know where these people are. They know the facilities. They know where they're hiding.
So didn't they cancel like flights from?
Oh yeah, that's a whole nother article.
Okay,
we can cover this in this one too because it's part of it. They canceled a flight for 16,000 people that were already by Joe Biden said they were legally able to come here from Afghanistan. He canceled it. He said, "Nah, we done here."
I mean, they cut off all foreign aid. They've halted it for 90 days.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully it's all. Hopefully it's not just to countries that don't look like us. I mean, hopefully it's like the places like Israel as well.
They want to reevaluate. I mean, the money's already been sent out. That's fine. It's already been allocated for whatever they needed for. But he's doing it for 90 days. He's like, look, because he said that before. He's like, every country needs to pay their fair share. He's like, look, if you ain't got no arms and we're protecting you, I'm leaving here with something.
I feel like this. When it comes down to it, though, you honor your word until you can create it, until you can make a new agreement. I'm not against him looking at the agreements, but I believe, me personally, I think he's the kind of person who's trying to find agreements and make new deals that benefit him, not just the country. I believe he has some thoughts for the country as well, but I believe a lot of the deals will benefit him. Just like he's telling TikTok they got to sell 50% to the United States government.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
somebody in America.
I mean, but he's saying the government, the U.S. government. That's what he's saying now. I mean, we'll see if that becomes if that's the thing there, or does he allow a private money to kind of get into it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we'll find out if that happens.
And we'll keep you up to date with all these deportations and raids as they continue on.
Yeah. Trump announces up to $500 billion in private sector AI infrastructure investment. President Trump announced Tuesday billions of dollars in private sector investment to build artificial intelligence infrastructure in the United States. OpenAI, SoftBank, and Oracle are planning a joint venture called Stargate, Mr. Trump said in a White House briefing. SoftBank CEO Masayoshi Son joined Mr. Trump for the announcement, along with Sam Altman of OpenAI and Larry Ellison of Oracle. We want to do this. We want to keep it in this country, Mr. Trump said. China is a competitor. Others are competitors. We want to be in this country, and we're making it available. I'm going to help a lot through emergency declarations because we have an emergency. We have got to get this stuff built. So they have to produce a lot of electricity, and we'll make it possible for them to get this production done easily at their own plants if they want. I mean, I watched this briefing right here, and there's nothing negative to say about this. If this right now, from what I understand, if this ends up being something that we do, I would love to see I want to see America at the cutting edge and the forefront of everything from chip making to, AI, everything. I want to see us up front. I mean, hopefully he sticks and gets the rest of Biden's, the money that he allocated for investments in semiconductor plants. He allows that to be allocated as well, but he won't because everything that he does has to be about him. He needs to go ahead and do that. And this could pair with something like this because you need those semiconductor chips in order to be able to, work the AI.
Yeah. The only thing that concerns me about AI is that, even Meta, they're firing a couple of their employees, like low level ones, because they're like AI can do your job. I mean, how many jobs is AI going to probably take from people? I mean, they're saying this is going to create 100,000 jobs, probably to create the servers, to create the buildings, right? But how many jobs is it going to take away from people?
Yeah.
Think about it. You can have an AI machine. You can hook it up to it. Wait till McDonald's realize they can put AI in there and the order will never go wrong. None of that. All you have to do is have humans bring in the food. They can actually have everything. They can have AI trucks come in, bring the packages in. They won't even need humans anymore.
Eventually, that's the way it's going to go. I mean, that's the way it's going to go regardless. I just feel like, right now we need to be at the forefront of this. There's just too many implications when it comes to military wise, self-defense, just so many different things. I mean, even like defending ourselves from like computer hackers, just all this stuff that we really need to be at the forefront of. You look at even with the drones and everything like that, that's all important stuff that we need to be in front of. AI is going to take over, artificial intelligence is going to take over our jobs no matter what, regardless. I mean, we're just talking about Meta. I hear that Meta is forcing basically people to have President Trump and also the vice president, JD Vance, on their pages, and they've taken away like hashtags for Democrats.
Yes,
like you can't even find it right now. It's gone dark. You know what I mean? And I'm TikTok? Seeing that because on my Instagram page, personal one, I went on there and I never look for JD Vance about anything. I don't deal with him. I don't even care, you know what I mean? Not anything about him. But I see a person you might want to, somebody who I might want to like their page or something, or, you know, and he's sitting right there. And I'm looking at this like, okay, I see what you guys are doing right now. You guys have kissed the ring this much to where you're pushing this type of an agenda towards the audience, man. I'm not.
Either you push it or you get stepped on.
Or you get pushed out the way.
That's
Absolutely
going to happen. Also, speaking of pushed out the way, Trump fires head of TSA, Coast Guard, guts key aviation safety advisory committee. President Trump moved quickly to remake the Department of Homeland Security Tuesday, firing the head of Transportation Security Administration and the Coast Guard before their terms are up, and eliminated all the members of the key aviation security advisory group. Trump's immigration policy change drew the most attention at the Department of Homeland Security, but he's also making changes at the rest of massive agencies. And then also he fired 4-star Coast Guard chief. And so Homeland Security officials have removed Admiral Linda Fagon from her role as the Coast Guard's commandant. According to a note sent to service members, the first firing of top military officers under the Trump administration. Acting Homeland Security Secretary Benjamin Huffman in his message said Fagon had been relieved as Admiral Kevin E. Lunde would become the service's acting commandant.
Well, so it begins pretty much. We're having to listen to this. This is what he's already said he's going to come in and start doing, is getting rid of the top brass and putting his people in position to basically do what he wants. So even if it comes down to something that's illegal, they're probably going to be willing to do it. I'm not going to say that that's for sure, but I believe so. I've watched them do other things that were illegal, like have people storm the Capitol. I watched him do that, and people act like that's not something that he did.
Oh, they're free now.
Oh, yeah, they're absolutely free, but that doesn't mean it wasn't a crime when it happened. I believe it was a crime. I know people saw it was a crime. They were convicted of a crime, but then they were pardoned by the person who they committed the crime for. Crazy. But that's where we're at right now.
Yeah, we need to get into politics.
At the same time, they said that this one, we do. They said, but, hey, we kind of are right now. We just need to make sure that we keep on reporting on it and get people to correct facts. They said that this woman who was fired, she was the highest ranking female, officer ever. She was, highest ranking that we've ever had. That doesn't mean that she should stay, but at the same time, why was she fired? Did she do it? Was there a bad job done? Or are we doing what they like to call DEI hires now? This is what you guys are doing right now, because you guys love to use that terminology.
Means no women, no coloreds, no gays.
And I don't even want to hear the word color, because I don't even know what the hell that means.
Anti-DEI. That's what they're getting rid of. That's how they're looking at it.
Period. We all understand what DEI has been this entire time. It's been hire your own people for a very long time in every position and make sure anyone else had to stay out until they fought their way hard as they possibly could, way 10 times harder than you've ever had to fight to get in. And we understand where this country's going. This isn't a complaint. This isn't a victim mentality. We're all the victim of your hubris. We are the victims. The people are the victims of the actual facts of where this country is heading.
Yeah. And they said Trump.
That's what it is.
He promised to get rid of so-called woke generals, military officers
who know what that means.
Champion diversity, pledge echo by Pete Hegseth, the administration's pick for Pentagon chief.
The guy who doesn't know shit about anything at all.
And so the whole thing is like this, bro. The only people that are about to suffer under Trump or that aren't going to suffer under Trump are white males. As long as they play their role. Everyone
look at who was sitting up, look at his cabinet. Look at everywhere where he's going right now. Most of the people are people either they're businessmen or they're nothing but white males. That's it. That's just what this is right now. We all understand who he's here for. He's not here for you guys who he suckered into voting for him. He's not here for you at all. We're going to get down to that as well, though.
And then Trump reclassifies thousands of federal employees. Oh, did you want to do the guys?
No.
Okay. Trump reclassified thousands of federal employees, making them easier to fire. On Monday, Donald Trump issued an executive order classifying thousands of federal employees as political hires, making them easier to fire if deemed insufficiently loyal to the new president and his aims. One of his premises flurries of measures signed on Trump's first day back in power, the order effectively reinstates Schedule F, which sought to allow for the reclassification of tens of thousands of federal workers. Schedule F changes civil service rules to allow for a broader swath of career federal employees to be fired without civil service protection, reclassifying their jobs as political appointments. An executive order posted Monday night in the White House website titled Initial Recessions of Harmful Executive Order in Actions. Trump revoked an executive order issued by Joe Biden 2 days before assuming office in 2021.
He ordered
them all back to work. Every federal employee had to go back to work in person.
So he's reclassifying you so he can fire you.
Yep.
That's a crazy thing. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard before in my life. Like this, I mean, it just doesn't make a lot of sense.
I've kind of seen it happen. Like, I mean, he's reclassifying. Like when I worked at Safeway, for instance, what they did, they used to hire people in and it'd make you a journeyman. You know what I'm saying? And so after like 13 years, you'd max out at your pay. But they stopped doing that, even though they have a union. So what they do now is they hire people in as baggers and cart pushers, because in that part of the contract, it says they never have to give you another raise. It's not the same thing, but it's the same thing. Because when I worked there, I just came in, you know, I shout out to the person that hired me. You know what I'm saying? Like a month later, I was in produce and I was a manager. You know what I'm saying? But I'd worked with people there been 10, 11 years. They make the same amount of money.
Crazy, man. I mean, and so basically, because a government job, most times when you get into the government job, it's pretty much impossible to fire those people. A lot of times it's been that way. And so, but now he's like basically stating that, hey, I'm going to classify whoever I want as a political hire so that I can start putting in nothing but my loyalists in places that are in sensitive areas, probably as well, too. Places that we won't be able to know what they're actually doing. We'll have no clue.
We don't know what's
really
going
on.
We just take our money.
But there's a good chance there's going to be some whistleblowers around if there's something nefarious going on. There's a good chance of it. But now,
watch.
I understand. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, there's always going to be a mixture. Maybe some old guard people who've been there, some new people who've come.
No, that's why he's doing that now. He's like, there's no mixture. He's like, look, everybody's going to be. He's going to get people off the streets to run these. Hey, who voted for me? That's what I'm getting. He's out calling these other people political hires. They got to go. Think about it. Somebody's probably been at the agency for 20 years, been through multiple presidents. You know what I'm saying? He's like, nah, I'm going to get rid of you. I don't like the way you reposted this on TV or the news or whatever. He's like, I don't like none of that. Get rid of you. That's what he said. He's going to get rid. That's what it says, Project 2025. They're going to get rid of all the people, no matter the Democrats, centrists, whatever, and they're going to hire nothing but Trump loyalists. The whole government's going to be just him. So, I mean, yeah,
this has definitely been something they've talked about in Project 2025. I guarantee if you look at a number of the executive orders that he put into place, that these were things that coincide with Project 2025. Trump says he's not confident Gaza ceasefire will hold. U.S. President Donald Trump said Monday he was not confident the Gaza ceasefire would last, despite claiming credit for brokering the agreement between Israel and Hamas. I'm not confident. It's not our war. It's their war, he said from the Oval Office when asked by a reporter whether the ceasefire would hold and last through the three plane phases. I looked at a picture of Gaza. Gaza is like a massive demolition site. That place it's got to be rebuilt in a different way. The American president's pessimism is not unique. There's a sufficient pressure to restart the Gaza war from extremist right-wing Israeli politicians who believe the ceasefire was a capitulation to Hamas. Itamar Ben-Gvir of Israel's Jewish Power Party last week resigned as national security minister, further narrowing Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's slim parliamentary majority. Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich has threatened to do the same if Netanyahu does not break the ceasefire once an initial 42-day phase is complete. I demand and received a commitment from Prime Minister Netanyahu that Israel return to the battlefield to eliminate Hamas and eradicate this threat once and for all, Smotrich said in a statement on Monday. I mean, they want them to go back to war, killing and maiming more and more people. And when they really, because I can't say that.
Well, they just launched an attack in the West Bank a couple hours ago.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? They killed 9 people. Israel launches a major West Bank operation.
They just shifted the war over into the West Bank. They need someone to keep killing. They want to keep killing. That's pretty much what this is about. Take their land. That's why you hear that. You said, that Trump said that's a very nice place. He's basically talking about how that's good property over there, and it's talking about how Gaza's prime real estate. This is not the first time we've heard people talk about Gaza being prime real estate. Like, this is what they want to do. They want to take Gaza, as a pretty much and turn it into like waterfront property. Yeah. That's what it is already. And if you think about it, Gaza has a lot of natural gas and resources right off its shores. So this is what they've been planning on doing for a while. That's why they're trying to set up Israeli bases inside of there and say it's to keep the peace. But what peace? You've already destroyed everything. Yeah. There's no peace to keep anymore. No,
they're going to keep the peace for themselves. That's the point. Think about this, man. I was watching the news the other day, right? I just happened to have the news on, right? And they're talking about how the Israeli hostages got released. They're like, oh, there was 4 of them got released today. I knew their names, ages, and where they were born. The news said it. Then the news was like, yeah, and then dozens of Palestinians were released also. Anyways, on to something else.
Yeah,
I was like, damn.
Yeah, it tells you how they feel about them. They look at them like he said, they call them vermin. You know what I mean? They call them rats and roaches and stuff like that. That's how they look at it.
I'm saying they told me the Israeli prisoners' names. Hey, this person was released. A little bit of information about them all. There's like 3 or 4.
They played soccer. This person did this. They liked music.
Then they're like, oh yeah, and dozens of Palestinians were released also. Anyways, on to something else. I'm like, I don't know their names. I don't know.
They don't want you to know. They don't want you to look at those people they don't want you to look at those people as actual people. They want you to look at them like they look at them. And those people can be exterminated.
All those people there's probably people that watch the show too. You sat there and you protested the vote thinking Donald Trump was going to do better by the Muslims and stuff. You don't realize he had a Muslim ban. Now, was the current administration doing something about it? No, because they're in an election year and they know who runs the media. But that was your best bet.
And Biden,
this man's he called Chuck Schumer a Palestinian twice.
I mean, he's the one. In my eyes, honestly, I'm not going to say he's the one who. I think October 7th was prompted by the actions of Donald Trump. I'm not going to say just his actions because there's been years of different genocides being committed by the Israelis. There's been back and forth, but mostly by the Israelis, started by the occupiers pretty much. I would look at it as. But when I look at what he did, coming straight in, all of it, putting Muslim bans in place, taking away the Iran nuclear deal, killing Soleimani, Qasem Soleimani, there's just so many different things. Making Jerusalem the capital of Israel. I mean, there's so many things he did to put in place that preempted October 7th in my eyes. That they already know who he is when it comes to dealing with the Israelis. I got one more here. What to know about Trump cryptocurrency meme coins. President Trump has launched a cryptocurrency coin that is drawing a sharp eye from experts as it yo-yos in value in its opening days of trading. The official meme coin, known as Trump, was launched on Friday for nearly $6.50 and rose to as high as $73 on Sunday. Hours after his inauguration, it had dropped below $40. Its market cap on Monday was about $7.6 billion. First Lady Melania on Sunday also launched a meme coin, Melania, at nearly $7. That coin has also jumped in early trading, nudging above 13 at its height before dropping below $5 as of Monday afternoon. My new official Trump meme is here. It's time to celebrate everything we stand for. Winning, Trump wrote on a post on X, telling supporters to have fun. So it's crazy because he put his coin out, right? The next day it died. They took all the money.
Melania put hers out, and I'm pretty sure that one died. Now everyone jumped on the Hawk 2 girl because she put her coins out. It seems like the people build it up and they wait for other people to jump in there and then they pull all their money out.
They said that a wallet associated with Trump and his meme coin pulled out $32 million out of it immediately because his coin, just to his credit, it said it came on the market, launched for $6.50, which is, and then it went up to $73 by Sunday. But then hours after his inauguration, it had dropped below 40. So it's still holding a significant share. $6 to even $38, $35 is still a good hit. Yeah. For the hit that quickly, you picked up enough of those, you won.
How do you even spend these coins?
You almost don't even have. Honestly, it depends on who will take them. That's how it kind of boils down to. But what you could do is sell them.
So it's kind of like Imperial.
It depends on who will take them as currency. But what you can do almost is like, okay, say I bought 1,000 of his coins for $6.50. So I paid $6,500 for 1,000 of his coins. Then they said by Sunday it went up to $73. Now I got $73,000 instead of $6,500. Even if it dropped to $35, I'm still got $35,000 that I can be like, okay, who wants these now? So, but if nobody wants them, you're stuck.
It's worthless.
It's worthless. That means
that's why
no
I
one
haven't
can
jumped in the crypto market yet, man. It's like once you can sell it and buy it and stuff. But for me, it's like I guess I'm old school American. Mm-hmm. I want to be able to hold my stuff.
But there's people. You can't hold your stocks. If you buy stocks, you really don't. They used to give certificates and stuff. They don't get that anymore. So that's what I'm saying. You can't hold that. You don't have your money in your hand when it's.
I think that's why a lot of people don't play the stock market because it's like, oh, bro, I can't touch it. I can't. You know,
Man, but they should be playing. I'm just my personal opinion. You should be playing the stock market. I'm in crypto. And there's certain cryptocurrencies that you can actually spend though. There's certain of them that have gone through the regulatory process and they've made it available to be able to spend in certain places. There's some that they're using like as far as like, for government to government, to pass money between governments. Like they have Ripple that can like make huge transactions. It's taking away the SWIFT system that the United States and Europe kind of have, power over. It's how major governments transfer billions of dollars, within seconds. And so basically with that system, what the United States and Europe has done is put sanctions on certain countries and said, hey, you know what? You can't use the SWIFT system. So they're trying to find other systems, and cryptocurrencies are becoming kind of a way for them to be able to transfer money without having to, actually use physical money or use banks to do it.
Yeah.
And so that's just another thing right there.
I mean, it's just like, for me, it's like the way they're doing it, they're going to keep making these things and just taking the money from the people.
Yeah.
It's
a lot of them, the meme coins that don't really have a purpose, I'm not getting into. I'm getting into what actually has a purpose in the market. What are you here for?
Spend it. I got to spend it at Walmart. You know what I'm saying?
I feel it.
Also, before I let us go, I want to do this last one. Murder charges upheld for the only suspect to face prosecution in the 1996 Tupac Shakur killing. The only suspect to ever be charged in the 90s killing of rap icon Tupac Shakur in Las Vegas has lost a bid to have his murder case dismissed. In a ruling Tuesday from the bench, Clark County District Court Judge Carly Kearney said Dwayne Keefe D. Davis isn't protected against prosecution because he has not provided proof of immunity deals that he says he reached years ago with federal and local authorities while still living in California. Davis and his lawyer have argued that he never should have been charged with murder because of these deals. Attorney Carl Arnold also said that the indictment against his 61-year-old client is an egregious violation of his constitutional rights because of a 27-year delay in prosecutions. But Kearney said she found no evidence that it was intentional.
So I'm like this. How do they even know he did it?
He told on himself.
So what? I'm like this. I can say I did something, but does that mean I did it? Well, you have evidence as saying I'm here. I could tell anybody I was there when, say, and I'm not like Biggie. I was there when Biggie got killed. Just say I said that. You know what I mean? Like, and I could talk about all this different stuff and say this is what happened, but this can be stuff I heard. I don't know. Who was to say I was there? Do they have evidence of him being in that car? Yes. They may have evidence. Do they? What?
No, Keefe D gone on.
I know. I've seen it. I've seen it.
Yeah, he told on himself.
I mean, but that doesn't mean that it's true. Is what I'm saying though. Now you have to. What proof they got?
No, they got to prove it. I mean, they got the proof of him. Yeah, I was in the car. It was my nephew, Orlando Anderson. This is why we did it. You know what I'm saying? A confession works. I mean, that's all you need is a confession. Yeah,
but is that really a confession? It's not under oath. It's not any of the rest of that stuff. Is that really a confession? I'm not trying to say you have to have confession under oath because none of these things are under oath when they have them inside of police stations or whatever else. But that to me that doesn't say that he did it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he could have been doing, I'd be like, man, I'm doing this for the gram. They paying me to come on these shows.
Some of his interviews, I watched the interviews before I stopped watching the guy that did them because he's a piece of shit anyways.
Who is it, Vlad?
Yeah, I don't fuck with him. Yeah. You disrespect the ministry, you don't apologize, bro. You ain't bigger than us. Someone needs to put hands on him. Anyways.
You know why he did it, right?
Yeah,
you know who Vlad is. You know what Vlad is, right?
Yeah, I know exactly what he is.
Okay.
I know exactly what he is. But the thing is, also in there, he was like, yeah, I wrote this book, but then he was saying like parts of the book weren't, they were fake. He made it up. So he could try to get out and say he made this up. There's no solid evidence he was in the vehicle except for him saying it. There's no solid evidence that, there's no gun residue. They're saying that they found bullets from that night.
That would be the dumbest thing. How do you still got bullets from that night, brother?
27 years ago, bro. I mean, like you would.
How?
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, I mean, I've been getting around. What are you holding for collectors? If you did that, you're dumb. You deserve. Even if you got bullets from that night, that does not still mean you were there.
Yeah, and this don't even hold the same energy as if it would have been like back in the 90s or even 10 years after Tupac was murdered. I mean, it's 27 years. It's like, look, bro.
He has to put this. These are just different motions he has to go through to try and get cases dropped. Anyways, this is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to exhaust all of your motions to suppress, all your motions, try to get the case dismissed. You're supposed to do all that beforehand, anyways, because then you can come back later on appeal and say this happened. They didn't do this right, or there's something. Maybe they didn't dot their I's or cross their T's somewhere. So he's just going through the motions.
Well, I mean, yeah, but it's kind of cold game. It's like they waited. I mean, the videos about what he confessed to were old before they even came to get him.
It's been. No, I mean, he did
the Vlad interviews. Let's say he got arrested 2 years ago, right? He did those interviews 6 years ago. You know what I'm saying? They were just sitting around. Hey, you know what? Let's go get that guy talking about killing Tupac.
But do you know? I mean, what makes you? Because I don't think they arrested him last year. I think
Was it last year? I thought
like, it was before they got Diddy or something like that. You know what I mean?
No, they got him way before Diddy. Oh yeah, no, they got him way before. But then it was
close.
People were like, oh, now they're about to come get Diddy
because he started trying to say that because he said what's name gave him $1 million, something like that.
Well,
Remember
the whole
he said
thing
that?
was supposedly so. What Tupac may hit him up. Diddy was scared for his safety, so he's gonna pay the Southside Crips $1 million. He put $1 million bounty on Tupac, right? So when Tupac jumped Orlando Anderson, Orlando, he was like, if it was somebody from the hood, he would have came back to Compton, catch them on the streets. But he's like, Tupac was a rapper. He ain't a gangster. So they're like, and we had the bounty on him anyways. So we decided, hey, kill two birds with one stone. So, Orlando Anderson shot Tupac out the car, but then Diddy never paid. And so when they came back, so Diddy came to LA with Biggie, and Diddy was supposed to be, and they had the two SUVs or whatever. Diddy was supposed to be in the first one. But big guy, he's like, nah, man, I'm going to hop in this one. You know what I'm saying? And they knew he was supposed to be in the first one. So they came to kill Diddy. They didn't come to get Biggie. It was too late. Boom, 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 kill Biggie. And so Diddy has to live with that.
I thought that, this is what I mean, of course we're just talking congestion, but I thought that, Suge's people, remember they had the guy who it's a lot of different stories. We don't know what really happened. But, you know what I mean? It's too bad that we're going down this route right now. Do I want justice for Tupac? I think it's already been served on many different different fronts. So, I mean, at this point in time,
is alive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, let him rest in peace. And, I mean, I don't wish to see anyone, incarcerated for something that they might have just been lying about.
Yeah, and then Candace Owens is trying to get online the other day trying to say Tupac was gay. I'm like, whose graces are you trying to get back into?
It's just weird. That's
why I don't mess with Candace Owens, bro.
I heard her saying that too. And then they played a video of a young Tupac when they don't. I mean, he grew up around him, but at the same time, they don't understand how some people
performing arts school.
Absolutely,
he had a great life. Know what happened to Tupac? He went to Oakland.
His mom got on drugs.
He was a Black Panther. He went to Oakland and got beat up by the police. He flipped. That's what happens when the police put hands on you. But Tupac was raised a Black Panther. His parents raised him for excellence. I know it's hard watching all these knucklehead black kids that they put on TV, but the majority, 80% of us, 70% of us, we strive for excellence.
And half of the things that they don't understand is a kid who comes from a household like that. Because I don't think she just got on drugs when she went out
later on down the road.
I mean, when she went to Oakland. But what I'm saying is because he was, I think they were in Baltimore at the time that he was in performing arts school.
Lived in New York.
He was in performance arts school somewhere in Baltimore, New York, like that. Where they were in performance arts school with Jada Pinkett, and they had the video of him. He's kind of talking, but he's talking to people who are not his color. He's talking to white people. I mean, to Europeans, I should say. That's who he's talking to. So at the same time, it's almost like you're playing a role when you're talking to these people, especially back then when people did that, when there wasn't that much interaction with people from different races. Not back then, there just wasn't a lot of interaction that was like common. And so people he probably didn't have that comfortability. So he got to be someone different than the hood kid that he really was.
No, it's called code switching. We've been doing it all our lives.
That's what I'm saying.
Some kids strive to be stupid. They want to use all them words, like short words, and just try to sound. No, like the rest of us, like we want to get education. I want to go places and do things, and that's what he was doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but Candace Owens is crazy, bro. For saying what she said. Like she just, to me, man, it's an agenda with her. Everything is because they've kicked her out of the good graces. She wasn't around. She hasn't been around anything with Trump. Why is that? They got rid of you. As soon as you said something about the people who they don't want you saying nothing about, people who shall not be named, the people who Vlad TV that we, what I mean?
Yeah.
We all know. You know what I mean? So now you're out of here. Nobody cares anything about you. They don't want you back in their face. And you're probably one of the brightest among them, but you're also one of the ones among them who they don't need. Well, they know that you have no power.
Like they use the rest of them. You know what I'm saying? You're just there to get people that look like you over here. And then once we get that, you can go. We'll make up some excuse. You'll be gone.
But she couldn't do it. She didn't have that pool because you went the wrong way.
Yeah. And with that, we're going to let you guys go. We're going to see you next time because, the news is picking up. Uncommon Courtesy.